too far away. I did the best I could with the angle. So, reading Wrapup. We're going to start with this Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. It was a DNF for me. My DNFs are 1 star. I do have some annotations. I stopped at chapter 24, page 132. It's about a boy that... I'm going to just read some of the back. With like the top. It says a young boy is haunted by a voice in his head. So I don't know if it's an imaginary friend. I don't know the deal with that one. I just know that him and his mom, they escaped from like an ex-boyfriend of his mom's. I don't remember what I read. I'm out of breath, only from trying to figure out English, so forgive me. And forgive the hair too. I had to wash it today. I'm gonna do my hair tomorrow. So I needed it clean and stuff. Anyhow, oh, and I'm still in PJs. No apologies. I'm comfy. So anyway, DNF. I apologize for a lot of ums too. I'm just all over the place. These Wishes Don't Burn by Isabella Sterling. What was my reading for this? I have little... I am so not organized. Let's see. We're going to find all my whatevers. Okay, These Wishes Don't Burn. This is book 1 in a duology. I gave this a 2.75. This is one that was not on my original TBR. I had added it because I had an original TBR, then I redid my TBR, then I had some books I added. But the second book is called This Coming Will Break. I don't think I'm going to read that one. It is in my January TBR pile, but it's not on my January TBR. I don't think I'm going to read it. So this is going to be one I unhaul, and I'm going to unhaul the DNF. Christina Lauren, The Soulmate Equation. I gave this one a 3.75 stars. I remember reading a book or two by this author duo. I do not remember which ones they were. I think it was Half Night Stand and more Love in Other Words. Anyway, doesn't matter. This I gave a 3.75 stars. Don't know if I said that already. It took me a while to get into it. This is about the female. It's a female main character. Was it? I don't think it was dual perspective, but I do know the main character is a single mom. There's a thing that she did on a whim. It's I have to stop saying I should write down my thoughts, but I don't do that because then would I remember to stick to it. There's this guy, he's a scientist, and he created this, I don't want to call it an experiment, but let's just call it a thing. He created this thing where they use their DNA to find a match. And that's all I'm going to say about this. It's not my favorite. Typically, if I rate something 3 or more, I would probably keep it. But I remember this one taking me a while to get into, so I'm not going to keep this one either. And I'm going ahead and saying what I'm keeping and what I'm not, only because I honestly don't know after this wrap up if I'm going to continue doing videos. Again, I got to stop saying I like doing it as a hobby, but at the same time, it's hard simply because I'm not good with editing. I'm not good with angles. I do like talking about books, but when I'm put in front of a camera, it's very hard to talk about them. Even though I have a lot to say. So, there's that. So, let's just move on. We've got More Happy Than Not. I have 3.75 written down. But I feel like I should give it a 4 because I liked it. And I have a bunch of annotations. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to stick to the 3.75 or say 4 star, but let's go with 3.75 or 4. It was good because everything I've read by Adam Silvera so far I liked. Like, this is the 3rd book of his that I've read. I just wish the ending could have been a little happier. It is about a main character. It's a male main character Well, I really don't know what to say about it without giving it away. See, that's my problem. I don't know how to talk about books without giving anything away. Because everybody sees spoilers differently. But it's good, and I do recommend it. Let's go with this duology. There is no devil, and there are no saints. I do not remember which one's book one and which one's book two. But I will say, both of them are 4 stars. And overall, I give the duology a 4 star. It's about the main character is an artist, and she's a poor artist at that. And then she meets somebody, and then it progresses from there. I would search up trigger warnings. I would call it I guess you would call it a dark romance. It is a romance, and I guess you would call it a dark romance. I don't like the covers. No offense to the artist. I have a thing about snakes. So therefore, I'm not saying the artwork is bad. I'm just saying I don't like it because I don't like snakes. But overall, I give that a 4 star. Oh my lord. That's Sick Love. What did I give this? I want to say I gave it a 5 star. Yep, I did. It's by Jessie Hall. If I haven't said, this duology is by Sophie Lark. 5 star. Search up trigger warnings. Very, 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 very dark. The main character is, what was her name? Brioni, is that how you pronounce it? So it's dual perspective. You've got Brioni and you've got Arrow. I will say in the beginning of this book, it kind of reminded me of the Cat and Mouse Duet. But the more you read, you realize it's nothing like it. The only similarity is you've got the stalker romance. But to me, that's where the similarity stops, because Arrow is nothing like Zayd. It does involve the Catholic Church. It involves so much. So I would definitely search up trigger warnings. I will read the first sentence of the back. Fornication is a sin. So I would go into this. Blind, except for the fact, search up trigger warnings. For any dark romance, please search up trigger warnings. But 5 star, I do recommend. I did need a Christmas read for the year. This is Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I did read something else by her. I read My Killer Vacation. I loved it. This one I loved. 5 stars. I do wish it was more I do wish it had more to do with Christmas, but it led up to something for Christmas Eve. I do wish it had more of a holiday vibe, but I did enjoy the writing style. I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the main characters. The banter with certain ones was, well, the banter with everybody was funny. The cover is really pretty. So for holiday reads, I recommend this. And we're at the beginning of January. I know Christmas is over, but because it had so little to do with Christmas, I would still recommend reading this. Then we've got The First to Die at the End. This is by Adam Silvera. I love this. This is the prequel to They Both Die at the End. They Both Die at the End came out first. This one came out second. So, of course, because of the publication dates, I read that one first and then this one. I really, really loved this. Adam Silvera has a way with words. I will say it is a male perspective. It's got several different perspectives. So it's more than dual POV. It's multiple perspectives. But it does focus on 2 of the characters mainly. And it's male. I will say that. No matter what the title says, I even felt like this with They Both Die at the End. You wish for a different ending. And that's all I'm going to say, but I do recommend it. I do like Adam Silvera's writing style. I like the way he does his storylines. I like the way he does his characters. I just wish it had a happier ending. But I do love the story. They Both Die at the End and The First to Die at the End. I like these two better than More Happy Than Not. But I do like More Happy Than Not, but I like this one better than that one, if that makes sense. Then we've got Nine Liars by Maureen Johnson. This is in the same world as the Truly Devious trilogy. So you got the Truly Devious trilogy, then you have The Box in the Woods, and then you have Nine Liars. I like this. It does involve Stevie Bell. Her last name is Bell, right? And it's just another mystery for her to figure out. And she does figure it out, as always, because, hello, she's Stevie Bell. What did I rate this? I want to say I rated this one 5 stars too. No, 4.25. I really liked it, but I can't remember why I gave it 4.25. Let's just say I just liked it and I recommend it. I do recommend Maureen Johnson. She is a great author. Then we have Hot House Flower and Thrive. So usually I try to read one book out of the series a month. This month I read 2. I gave Hot House Flower. I didn't rate it. I'm going to say 4.75. And then for Thrive, I'm going to say 4. I do enjoy this series. So I'm not going to talk about either one of these books. I will say this one's a Daisy and Reich. And so far, this is my favorite. And this one follows Lauren Lowe and Lily. I like this one better. But overall, the series is good. I have a lot of tabs. There's a lot of banter in here. There's a lot of struggles. There's just a lot of things. I will say search up trigger warnings for this. And I know at this point in life, it's no secret. Lily and Mo, they both have addictions. And sometimes with reading about it, especially Lily's addiction, it's really hard to read sometimes. Like, because of the way I read these, like I don't read them back to back. I put space in between. So technically it's one a month, but this month, I read this one closer to the beginning. I read this one at the end. It takes me a minute. So basically, as an example, once I started this one, it took me a minute to really submerge myself into the story simply because it is hard to read about her addiction because sometimes it's cringy, and this is nothing against the story. It's nothing against the characters, the author, or anything like that. It's just for me personally. It is a little cringy to read, but at the same time, once I submerge myself in the story, I get back into it. And you do root for them, but at the same time, it's like they're both toxic. And I hate to say it like that because I don't want to ever look down on someone with an addiction. Now, keep in mind, this is fiction. This has nothing to do with people in real life. So everything that I'm saying, my opinion, it's based on this. It has nothing to do with anybody that struggles with their life. But that's, okay, so let me get back to this. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, parts of it was a little bit awkward to read. Let me use awkward instead of cringy. But you root for them at the same time. In the back of your head, it's like, okay, but they are toxic. Maybe they should individually deal with their stuff and then try to be together. But then at the same time, see how much they love each other and how much they need each other and want to be together. Then you're like, okay, well, they need to be together. Hopefully all this makes sense. I know I am all over the place. I know this might even be terrible to watch, but these are everything that I read for the month. Some of the ones I'm getting rid of, some are favorites, some are not. Like, I think my favorites out of everything, That's Sick Love, The First to Die at the End, Hot House Flower, Wreck the Halls. I think I would put these as favorites. I would also put Nine Liars as a favorite, only because the Truly Devious trilogy was definitely a favorite. I did really enjoy this duology and this standalone, but it wasn't favorites like these were. And I do have a bookshelf for favorites. Anyhow, back to something that I said before, because I am all over the place when I talk about books. Being on camera is a little bit uncomfortable, but I do it because like I said, I like talking about books, but at the same time, it is a little uncomfortable, and it's hard to talk about books without giving spoilers, because There's so much I could say about this, but a lot of it would be spoilers. And I read several books a month, so sometimes if it's something that I read at the beginning, I may not remember everything about it. But anyway, that's my December reading wrap up. I don't know if I'm gonna do a January TBR. Like, I'll do a personal January TBR, but I don't know if I'll film it, and I don't know if I'll do a wrap up. If I did do anything for YouTube, it would be a TBR and wrap up. So it'd only be 2 videos a month. So for now, I'm just gonna sit on January's TBR and January's wrap up, meaning for videos, because I am working through my January TBR. But anyway, today's January 3rd. Happy New Year. I hope you all have had a great Christmas holiday, New Year, or if you don't celebrate those two holidays, with whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope you had a wonderful time with your friends, your family. And again, Happy New Year, and thanks for watching. Bye.